Good morning. It's another fine spring day up in Maine, and thought I'd give you a few words of wisdom and knowledge. It's important to have wisdom and knowledge combined together, and a bit of humor. And if you take that and mix it together with a pudding stick, it makes for a good story. Most of what I'm going to tell you here this morning is something a good Mainer already knows. So I'm actually talking to folks that don't live in Maine. Folks that live in Maine already know everything that I'm going to say, and they know it in their heart of hearts. But it's nice to be reminded. If you're a good Mainer, it's nice to be reminded of these things, because we like to chuckle about stuff that we already know. It's just that way. Okay. According to a recent study at the Maine Medical Center, they've discovered that women who carry a little extra weight live longer than the men who mention it. I told that to my wife last night, and she says, yes, sir. You'd better believe it. I don't know a single Maine coyote that has lost a single minute of sleep worrying about the opinion of any of the rabbits, mice, or deer that live in the area. And it ain't just the coyotes that think that way, it's Mainers too. The 4 seasons of Maine are the following: almost winter, winter, still winter, and road construction. A Maine heat wave is considered to be anything above 35 degrees. If you're driving in Portland and see 15 or more cars backed up at a traffic light, you're sitting in an official Maine traffic jam. Yes, sir. Winter's not kind to our roads here in Maine. The ground under the road freezes unevenly and causes what we call frost heaves. They aren't actually bumps. We call them launching pads. I saw a sign in a local restaurant near where the cruise ships come into Portland. It said, "Come on in. The locals will enjoy your accent." It's just a tiny little bit of sarcasm in there, isn't it? A little revenge. Yeah. What's the definition of blinker? You ever heard that word, blinker? Well, it's an automobile turn or directional signal. And I heard this story about a blinker. Mainer number 1 said, "Is my blinker working?" Mainer number 2, I think was a girl, said, "Aya? No, aya? No, aya?" I'm not sure about the color of her hair, but it wasn't brown. I would rather feel bad in Maine than to feel good anywhere else. And now, remember what I said about Maine humor. You got to include about 1/4 ounce of truth. And this is the 1/4 ounce of truth, and this is a dire warning, okay? It really is. You'll see these signs all over Maine, and this is what they say. Brake for moose. It could save your life. There have been hundreds of collisions, not collusions, collisions. See, I've got politics on my mind. I'm thinking collusion all the time. Brake for moose. It could save your life. There have been hundreds of collisions. And that's the truth, okay? And the danger of hitting a moose is their long legs. And when you hit a moose with an average car, the entire body of the moose, which usually weighs between 800 to 1,500 pounds, comes crashing straight through the windshield and into the people riding in the front seat. And that's not too healthy for you or the moose. Incidentally, there are more moose per mile in Maine than in any other state. Bet you didn't know that. Now you do. Now, I found something that was said that this is what Jeff Foxworthy says about Maine. Now, honestly, I don't think Jeff Foxworthy's ever been north of the Mason-Dixon line. But if he had been in Maine, if he'd ever done one of his comical routines in Maine, that's probably what the sort of thing he'd say, because it sounds like Jeff Foxworthy's routine. But I think this was something that somebody wrote up and attributed it to Jeff Foxworthy. Okay. You must be living in Maine if your local Dairy Queen is closed from September through May, maybe on into June because the owner hasn't come back from Florida. If someone at a Home Depot offers you assistance and they don't work there, you must be in Maine. If you've worn shorts and a parka at the same time, you live in Maine. You're probably living in Maine if you've had a long telephone conversation with someone who dialed the wrong number. It sounds like my mother-in-law lives downstairs. If you know several people who have hit a deer more than once, you live in Maine. If you've switched from heat to air conditioning on the same day and then back to heat again, yeah, you live in Maine. I remember a day, I think it was last November, the leaves were blowing across the road. Then that's like fall. Then it started raining warmly like it was spring. Then it started snowing like it was summer, and then the sun came out like it was real warm. We had all 4 seasons on a single day. Yeah, that's Maine. If you can drive 75 miles an hour through 2 feet of snow during a blizzard without flinching, yeah, you live in Maine. If you install security lights on your house and garage but leave them both unlocked, you live in Maine. If you have jumper cables in your car and your wife actually knows how to use them, yeah, you live in Maine. If you find 10 degrees, quote, a little chilly, you live in Maine. If you actually understand all the following things that I just said, and you want to forward them to all your other Maine friends and other people who live outside of Maine, you live in Maine, because I just told you the truth about Maine. This may be a hard winter, but on the positive side, I haven't seen a mosquito in weeks. Novelist Marilyn Robinson Gilead said, "My grandfather once told me that if you can't read with cold feet, there wouldn't be a single literate soul in the state of Maine." In Maine, we have a saying, if there's no point in speaking, there's no point in speaking unless you can improve on silence. And that is the gospel truth. So bless your heart and enjoy living in the best state in the Union. No hands down, it is just the best state of the Union. My father used to say, when Jesus returns and the holy city descends from heaven, it's going to descend right here on the state of Maine. I believe it. God bless you and have a great day.